This is the Variety Sports Network, created for the fans, by the fans. Now to your host of tonight's show.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Sunday Morning Tailgate, presented by the Variety Sports Network. Jordan, how you doing, man?
Doing good, brother. How are you today?
Not too bad. Kind of slept in a little bit, hung out a little bit longer than I wanted to, but made it, and we're ready for a big NFL Sunday, man. What are you looking at today? That's one of your highlights of the day, besides your Bengals playing the 49ers. Give me another highlight of the day.
I'd like to see if Cleveland can sustain success with Walker at quarterback. They're doing some amazing things there. So if that defense can really step up and continue to be the number one defense in the NFL under all statistical rankings and really bring home another win. So what about you?
Thing I'm looking forward to today, I think, is does the snow in Denver give Denver a chance? Can this be a like leveling of the playing field with all the snow that they're supposed to be getting? I don't think it will, but I'm going to be interested to see how they handle playing in the snow and how the Chiefs and Mahomes deal with that for the first time this year. So that's definitely something I'm looking forward to. Jordan, let's get into a topic that you mentioned earlier. Let's talk about it right now. Bengals versus 49ers. Brock Purdy is in. Tell me your thoughts on Brock Purdy being activated after a quick concussion protocol in today's game. What are your thoughts on that?
I think he's being rushed. I kind of feel like it's a Tua situation. And unfortunately, it's against the Bengals again. So, Tua had a major concussion on prime time against the Bengals about 1 or 2 years ago, and it didn't really work out for him in the long run. And I kind of feel like the 49ers are pushing it. But outside of that matchup, they're still missing their best left tackle in football.
Yep.
That'll be something, really interesting to watch if Lou Amarillo can get the blitz package going and against one of the better pass rushers in the league that we got in Hendrickson. I think he's third in the NFL in sacks, so it'll be interesting there. Then their right tackle situation isn't much better. He's ranked, I believe, 28th out of 32 starting right tackles and giving up pressures and sacks. So really, it'll be the matchup if how healthy Purdy is, how healthy McCaffrey is coming from an injury 2 weeks ago and a short turnaround on a Monday night game. No Deebo Samuels on the outside and the inside to kind of mess with the scheme. So really it's going to be all about the Bengals defense against what's left of the 49ers offense and them coming out of a 2-game slump.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that matchup today. Also, big shout out to Dirty Fanatics United, Falcons fans. They've got a big game today against the Titans. See if they can kind of get going. And then we'll talk trade assets here in a little bit. Dirty Fanatics, we appreciate you chiming in. But Jordan, back to 49ers and Bengals, because this is a big game for both. San Fran's lost 2 in a row. You guys are trying to get back above 500. Their defense is still very talented. The way I've seen your guys' offense play, I think this is a very interesting matchup. I mean, unless you're getting, Super Bowl run Joe Burrow, it's going to be a long day if he's playing like he's been playing. What are your predictions for this game? Let's just get it out on the open. 49ers, Bengals. Do you think the Bengals can pull the upset realistically?
Realistically, I think so. History in the Joe Burrow era, we're 12-2 coming out of the bye the last 2 seasons. That's a great statistical thing to think about. Under the Marvin Lewis era, we were almost winless coming out of the bye, so a lot to look forward to there. Health-wise, he did look better last week. He did look better the week before. They still have some timing issues and stuff with the wide receivers, but I think 2 weeks of practice, some health. I know they're going out to the West Coast. That's going to be the one thing against them with the time zone change. But I really think the Bengals pull it off. I think you're looking at a 27-24. I think you're looking at maybe a 30-31, 28. I think it's going to come down to 3 points and who has the ball last. I think McCaffrey's still going to do his thing. George Kittle is still something to worry about, regardless of Purdy's health or who's behind center. I just a lot of things. Bengals have a young secondary, though. I think they'll be truly tested today.
Yeah.
Some of the skill positions. Will Cam Taylor-Britt continue to be a shutdown corner, or will he regress? I'd like to think that he'll keep pushing forward. Awuzie is still kind of questionable. He's getting burned a lot. I never thought he was healthy starting week 1. My personal opinion, he should have been on a PUP list for at least 4 weeks. But really, we'll see. I think it's who's going to have the ball last and who creates that first major turnover before the second half.
Yep. I think that's really good. I had a lot more faith in you guys before Brock Purdy got cleared. I thought you guys would give Sam Darnold a lot of trouble because you guys do have a solid defense. It's kind of been a roller coaster ride for that defense. It's a very intriguing matchup. If the Bengals win this game, the first 4 weeks don't matter. It changes the entire narrative. They're right back in the conversation for the AFC North. So this is a really, really important game for the Bengals. And then the 49ers, hey, we're still the 49ers. We're still one of the best teams in football. They did that against the Cowboys, but then they came back and lost 2 games in a row. This is another important game, a game that a lot of people are going to be watching. If the 49ers can beat you guys by 10 points, we're like, okay, these guys are back in the legit category. Jordan, let's move ahead. We'll talk and pick some more games here in a little bit. Dirty Fanatics United brought up the trade deadline coming up here next week. Mentioned a couple names: Montez Sweat, Chase Young, Derrick Henry. They've all been in trade conversations. We know now, based on what Tennessee has released, that they are not trading Derrick Henry or Hopkins. And we'll touch on them starting a new quarterback today against the Falcons. But guys like Montez Sweat, guys like Chase Young, talented guys on the Redskins roster are definitely up for trades. And then here's our guy Tyler talking. We just missed our conversation on the 49ers and Bengals. They have to tackle. They haven't in the last 2 weeks. To piggyback off of that, Jamar Chase is one of the best guys after breaking a tackle in the NFL. Watch out for that today. Can he break a couple tackles and maybe make a big, long play? But back to the trade deadline, Jordan. What is one player that you see that is available that is a game changer for a team if they make a trade?
I think you kind of mentioned out the name. You really look at Chase Young. Will be Baltimore. I've heard the Steelers are kind of making a play for him. The Bengals are always in conversation, but history tells me as a lifelong fan that we most likely won't pull the trigger. But you look at any one of these contending teams, even Seattle. They just got Frank Clark in the building. Will they add more? History says that they probably will. Pete Carroll is more than willing to beef up that defense and kind of make it a reminiscence of what they used to be. But he's big. Sweat would be, I think, a good rotational player in any team that's established. I don't think he'll come in and change the landscape of any team that's struggling. The Titans have kind of stopped. They gave up their safeties and kind of made other trades and stuff like that. But offensively, I think they're set. Then with their young quarterback, whoever it might be, to come in with some experienced players. Although I think they should just have a fire sale. But kind of Denver. Well, will it, if they win today, does that change?
There you go.
Trade thought process on giving up maybe some of their secondary and some of their pass rushers that don't want to be there. Jerry Jeudy, I believe is a complete cancer. I think he's out of the building regardless if it's via trade or release. That's just my own personal opinion. I don't have any actual factuals to kind of go behind that. A lot of people aren't happy. Personal opinion. I don't have any actual.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I also think that it's been mentioned that maybe they're trying to move Garrett Bowles, one of their tackles. That would be a nice piece for somebody out there. So that's another player to look at.
Cleveland's hurt right tackle. So.
That's a name that I would look at to possibly bring in. And then do the Vikings make any trades now that, Justin Jefferson's out? Do they make a move? Do they try to do something? There's some definitely intriguing pieces available. Do maybe a young team like Houston try to make a splash and get a receiver? I mean, they're contending in the AFC South. So
I think Adam Thielen would be a name that's kind of being mentioned the last probably 28 to 48 hours as a big person to be shopped around. His contract's not too big. I think Texas would be extremely fitting for him being a fully possession receiver. So.
Yeah, and he's done a really good job helping out Bryce Young, even though they've struggled. He's been very, very reliable. That's a good name. You got to – I know with Bryce Young, you want to keep a reliable receiver, but at the same time, hey, if we get a little draft equity, we're not winning this year, we can go get him a receiver in this draft. That's a good spot for the Texans maybe to hop in and steal him away and add a really strong player at the position.
Yeah, this next loaded with receiver.
Yes, absolutely loaded. Good point there. Let's see. Any other names come to mind in the trade deadline before we move on?
Not off the top of my head. I'm just the teams that think they're settled in for, big time pushes, but maybe a few defensive players off the Jets. I know that Carl Lawson, whether it be via Bengals or just kind of anybody looking for that one rotational piece, he'd have to restructure his contract, obviously. But I think maybe keep his name out there. A team like Baltimore kind of looking at him, or even the Texans, they want to bring their pass rush full circle. I think that's a guy that could give you, being at the break, a good 4 to 5 sacks for the season.
Yep, that's a good point. He is a good rotational piece. Another guy that I thought of from the Jets that you mentioned, Dalvin Cook, not happy in his role. Not sure what he expected when he signed on and they cleared Bryce Hall. I mean, Bryce Hall's just a really talented player, so I didn't know what he was looking for in that situation. But Jordan, we got a massive slate today. Let's get in. We can give these games a little bit more time today while we're discussing them. Here, let me get the share screen up. Okay, as you guys can see, a lot of big games this week. Jordan, let's start right at the top. Dallas and the LA at Dallas, the Rams. This is a pretty big game for them if they're going to make any more noise out west. Who do you have in the Rams and Dallas game, and why?
My gut tells me Dallas, because they are still on paper the more talented team. Whether or not Dak Prescott actually comes through in the game is still kind of a question mark, because his play is such a roller coaster. You'll get Super Bowl looking championship throwing Dak Prescott, and then you'll get kind of like, what are we watching? He's kind of reminds me of the Bills quarterback, with just so much up and then so much down. But I got Dallas in this one. I think it's going to be close. You can never count out the Aaron Donald and the boys on the pass rush. It's still going to make the day very long for Prescott, but if he can get it out on those open receivers on the outside, and then get kind of the run game going with Pollard, I got Dallas in a close one. You're probably looking at 3 to 7 points.
Okay, I like that pick. You know what? I'm gonna go Rams today. I think they're right on the cusp of getting a win that they really need. So I'm gonna go Rams to shake it up. I think Puka and Cooper Kupp are gonna be rough. It's gonna be hard for the Cowboys corners to cover. But yes, this is a Dawand Jones jersey. Of course it is. But yeah, I give me the Rams. Jordan, we'll see who comes out on top this week in picks. That'll be fun. So you got boys, I got Rams. Next game on the agenda, Jordan, Minnesota at Green Bay. Another battle in the AFC North. Kind of a second place battle because the Lions have kind of got a hold on that division right now. Who wins this game? Minnesota at Green Bay. I
say Minnesota rides the lightning. Green Bay really looked lackluster last week. Jordan Love looked really out of rhythm. The offensive line isn't playing up to par. The run game isn't giving much support. Or on the other shoe, we got primetime Cousins riding right now. So give me the Vikings in this one.
I'm with you on this. I'm going Vikings. I do not like what I've seen from the Packers ever since probably the first 2 weeks. Jordan Love started out really well, and kind of come back to earth. And I don't like the way he's playing football at the moment. So yeah, give me Minnesota also. Just a quick FYI. Looks like Mahomes is dealing with the flu. He's going to try to play, but look out for that to also help level the playing field in a snowy flu game, potentially for Mahomes. Next on our agenda, Jordan, Atlanta at Tennessee. Tennessee, a team that's been talking trades all last 2 weeks, kind of up and down. You mentioned to me before we started the show, new quarterback today. So go ahead and touch on that also.
I give this one to Atlanta. Tennessee is bringing in he's been on an inactive roster. So what somebody in management believes is a third string quarterback, and just kind of seeing what he's got left on the wheels. So I give it to Atlanta. Atlanta still got kind of lousy play. He's our boy from UC, and I love him to death, but it's really not panning out. Kind of what we were talking about 2 weeks ago on the show. There's just too many question marks there. But Atlanta's defense with a young rookie quarterback, Jesse Bates and the boys, give me Atlanta in this one.
I like that pick a lot. I don't love the way Atlanta's offense runs. I do think Pitts has kind of gotten to the conversation a little bit more, which I do like. Give me Atlanta also. Tennessee, I just don't think they're very good. And Will Levis starting his first game today, it's going to be tough. So give me Atlanta also. Let me write that down. We both got Atlanta because you're a coward. Atlanta.
Hey, my big pick's coming. You just
Tyler. Yeah, this is the DeJuan Jones jersey, 4th round pick, but it helps that he's from the Ohio State University. So it's kind of we already had that connection, Tyler. So if that makes sense to you, and then him going to the Browns, I felt like it was a good purchase because he's played really well, and he's gone up against some really good pass rushers this season. Next game on the list, New Orleans at Indianapolis. This is interesting. New Orleans has not been as good as I thought they would be. I know Carr got hurt, and it's kind of thrown him off the the right path. Jordan, who wins this game? New Orleans versus Indianapolis?
Give me Indianapolis. I still love Minshew and everything that he's doing there. They got the run game going. Their running backs coming off the hold. He's got the rust off. The receivers are really playing well with him. He's moving around really well in the pocket. They're kind of at times. The defense is kind of questionable for the Colts. I think it'll be closer than what a lot of people think. But give me the Colts in this one.
Yeah, I'm actually leaning Colts too. They played us really, really well last week. Their running game is definitely formidable. The two-headed monster of Moss and Taylor is kind of scary to go against. So yeah, give me the Colts. I'm kind of falling off the New Orleans bandwagon. I thought they could win the NFC South, and they seem like they've just not gotten it all together the way I thought they would. So yeah, give me the Colts also.
Everybody forget the Colts beat the Ravens just 2 weeks ago. I mean,
anybody could do that. I'm just kidding. The Ravens are playing really, really well ever since that loss. So I don't have much to say. Next one, we've got New England at Miami. Tyreek Hill is going to play. Jalen Ramsey is active for Miami. Very interesting. Do want to make a quick point on New England. Ever since J.C. Jackson came back to New England, he's been lights out. What does that say about the Chargers, man? That's not a good indication for the Chargers going forward. But New England at Miami, Jordan, in my opinion, Miami just has too much. I do think New England's played a little bit better the past couple weeks, but Miami just has too much for them to hang with them. What are your thoughts?
This one's actually interesting for me because I look at Miami still missing their left tackle. I think that's when it all started to kind of trickle down for them. Jalen Waddle's still out. You got Tyreek Hill, who I think he's playing against probably against everybody's advice because you're not going to keep a man like that down. I don't know that Miami came off kind of a bad loss recently. The Patriots came off a big upset. And, the locker room seems kind of revived. It'd be interesting to see who comes down to earth and who comes back down to form. I I'm gonna go against my gut. I'm gonna agree with you here. I think Miami takes this one because they have too much. But again, I think this is, especially being a division rivals, I think it's going to be closer than everybody thinks. Give me Miami by 3.
Miami by 3. So that you think they do keep it close.
Close.
I'm going to go Miami by a touchdown. I do, like I said, I do like the way New England's played these past couple weeks, but I'd still think that, like we said, too strong, too much. And at home, I think them being at home is a big part of it too. So that's why I'm going to lean Miami in this one. Let's go on to the next game. Battle of New York, Jordan. Battle of New York. Jets at Giants, because it's the same place. So who do you got here? Jets at Giants. I think this is pretty one-sided for the Jets, but do you have a way that the Giants pull this one out with their injuries that are piling up for them?
Personally, give me the Jets all day, but there is no doubt that the Giants have been a completely much better team under Tyrod Taylor. It's been night and day difference. The timing looks better. They're getting Darren Waller involved. He's putting up decent numbers and stats. The running game looks cleaner because they're not just stacking the box and watching Danielle Jones throw in the dirt and run for his life.
He's terrible.
Yeah, that's going to go down as one of their worst signings. Probably in a long time, they're going to be stuck with it, kind of like Denver. But yeah, definitely. I don't see that. I see it being close in the beginning, but the Giants just don't have enough firepower at the end of the day. Tyrod Taylor's going to keep him in the game. He's going to play clean like he always does. He's not going to make a lot of mistakes and turnovers. But the Jets pass rush, and when they kind of get things going, I don't see anybody stopping them in this game.
Okay, I'm with you on that. I'm going Jets. I'm going Jets by 10. Give me a little bit more comfort room there. Next game, Jacksonville at Pittsburgh. This is a really big game for the AFC as a whole. I wouldn't love anything more than seeing Jacksonville beat the Steelers. So just personal bias, I'm going to go Jacksonville to win this one. But do not be surprised if the Steelers rough them up for whatever reason.
I think the Steelers defense will rough them up, but give me Jacksonville. They still have Calvin Ridley. They still got Kirk, catching the ball and absolutely making great plays. EM is still running the ball well. If Jacksonville can settle down on the turnovers, give me Jacksonville all day. I think it's Jacksonville by 7. TJ Watt and company are still going to give them fits, still going to upset them a little bit, rough the pocket up. But the Steelers don't have enough on offense comparatively.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Close game today. Give me Jacksonville by 3. I think that's where I'm going to sit on this one. Philadelphia at Washington, rivalry game. Philadelphia has kind of been a little bit of a roller coaster themselves this year. Do you think Washington can pull the upset today?
No, I think Riverboat Ron no longer exists. I think you look at Washington's locker room. They're speaking out against each other. You got players saying, I'm tired of this shit. I've been here for 7 effing years.
Yeah.
You just too much animosity. I think that locker room, I think they're all ready for the season to be over as individuals. You look on the other side of the ball, and Philadelphia is going to come out and smash them in the mouth. And I don't see the red direction. I don't see the Washington team making any.
Yep, I'm with you on that. Do you say? Okay, here's a question. I think we're both picking Philly. I think that's the right thing to do. But if Washington loses today, does anybody get moved by tonight?
Oh, I absolutely think there'll be a fire sale. I think
see. But do you think somebody gets moved tonight?
Yeah, I think Chase Young and probably Sweat and even maybe 1 or 2 position players get moved tonight. Okay. I think you see that Monday afternoon. Adam Schefter is going to be busy reading off some Washington players being moved.
Yep. Okay, I'm with you on that one. Next game, battle of the rookie QBs, Houston at Carolina. We're both very high on CJ Stroud, obviously, being Ohio State fans. Houston. I got Houston in this one. Jordan, who do you have?
It seems like we're on the same wavelength. I got Houston in this one. I think Carolina's just they have some key injuries. They haven't looked like the same pop that they did earlier in the season. And Houston, I mean, Stroud is just playing lights out as a rookie quarterback right now.
Yeah.
I don't see that changing today. I think it'll be competitive because Carolina still has a good defense, still has good offensive players that'll make some splashes. But give me Houston for the win. I think Houston by 7.
Yep. No, that's a good one. Cleveland at Seattle. Unfortunately I have to be biased, but in my unbiased opinion, I think Seattle probably beats us. We've had a good, solid couple weeks with PJ Walker, but the offense has been really bad, and it's been all on the defense to win these games, and it's been really hard. Seattle's got a good defense and a good offense. It's going to be tough today, especially out west. I'm going to pick the Browns because I'm a loyalist, but I do believe Seattle probably beats us. Jordan, what are your thoughts on this one?
Looking at it from an analyst standpoint, I say Seattle, and that's not me dogging you. I honestly thought Seattle was going to come up and beat Cincinnati. That was my pick weeks ago, even being a Cincinnati loyalist. But it just kind of depends on what Geno shows up for Seattle. If Myles Garrett makes his days that miserable as the Bengals defense made his day that miserable, then there's no doubt in my mind that if the run game can get going with Kareem and company, that maybe Cleveland takes this one by 3. I think it's going to come down to kind of what I said earlier: who has the ball last.
Yeah.
If Cleveland can win the time of possession, then absolutely put this game on an upset alert. But if Seattle, if DK and company and Jackson Smith and Jimba gets a groove going, I think they run away with it. But my gut tells me Seattle, but this is going to be a close one. Give me Seattle by 3.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's just a big ask to beat a good Seattle team without your starting quarterback and just some kind of turmoil around that whole situation. Next game, the Snow Bowl, like you called it in our pre-show meeting, Kansas City at Denver. Don't pick Denver. Don't do it. I know you want to. I know there's a lot of things stacking up against KC today, but do not pick Denver. I got KC by 7. Go ahead.
I'm going to call it the 2-glove pick, but no, give me Denver. Kansas City is not as everybody thinks they are. I'm going to keep saying this. You take a couple penalties to go the other way, and Kansas City is easily a 3-loss team. Denver at home in the snow, in the elements, nothing to lose. Kansas City coming off of, really not their last couple of wins haven't been clean. You look at the way they played against the Jets. You look at last week, some boneheaded calls from the Chargers, head coach, let me punt the ball on 4th and 5 down a score. I mean, it's just they've gotten lucky after lucky after lucky, and I know that's a part of the game, but give me Denver in this one. The soup in the pot is right for Denver to pull off the upset that's much needed in that locker room.
They really do need it. I just think that the team's slowly giving up. Kansas City's not the right team to get your comeback roll on, unfortunately. But I respect the pick. I just think it's a very, very tall task. Next game, we're staying out west. Baltimore at Arizona. We're both picking Baltimore, right?
My gut tells me Baltimore, but there's not much on this one. Arizona. We saw the big win against Dallas, and we kind of haven't really seen much since then.
Mm-hmm.
And Baltimore coming off an absolutely smashing win last week.
They look really good. They really good.
They look like they got a lot of things together. Give me Baltimore in this one by 10.
Yeah, give me Baltimore by 13. Like you said, the way Lamar's playing right now, it's going to be really hard to beat them, especially with not a talented roster in Arizona. That's something that they're looking to rebuild. Yeah, Baltimore by 13 for me. Here's one of the more important games on the slate today: Cincinnati at San Fran. I'm going to give you the platform after this. Give me San Fran by 3. I think you guys do enough to keep it close. I think it's a kind of a smash mouth game, but they have McCaffrey, who's going to be one of the best player on the field, more than likely offensively. It's going to be a close game today. Can you guys turn Purdy over? Is Purdy 100%? I probably don't think so, but give me San Fran by 3.
I'm going to be on the other side. Give me my Bengals by 3. I think Lou and the boys really coming off a bye week, getting rested, getting it all together. It's going to be a heavy dose of Sam Hubbard. It's going to be a heavy of Trey Hendrickson. They said Miles Murphy, our first round pick, had a great role in practice and is expecting to be in certain packages coming up this week. That's something different we haven't heard really before. We kind of have some depth issues at running back, but I think Joe Mixon and Travion Williams get it done. I think Joe Burrow, coming off a week of really healing and focusing on his calf and his health. A lot of local reports have been saying that, he stayed local, he stayed in business. Other people kind of visited out their hometowns. Joe Burrow kind of stayed in Cincinnati, worked with the trainers for a really long time, saw some specialists. So, give me Cincinnati by 3. I think the short week for San Francisco, the questionable concussion protocol, we'll see if he even makes it through 4 quarters. I don't wish it on anybody, but I think they're risking a lot out of there. Coming off a 2-game losing streak, you're seeing Brock Purdy turn the ball over for the first time in his career. I think that continues today. Just give me Cincinnati by 3 in a hard-fought game that's going to take every bit of 60 minutes.
Yep, I figured that's where you're going. I respect it. The night game tonight, Chicago at Chargers. Chargers, I have winning this game. But man, the Chargers have been disappointing. I don't know. Every year it seems like everybody hypes up the Chargers, and then it just never comes to fruition. Yeah, but give me the Chargers tonight. The Chargers just seem to leave a bad taste in your mouth every year.
Yeah, the front office, they sign the right names, they say the right things. Their quarterback has phenomenal talent, take nothing away from him, but it's execution at the end of the day and coaching. So give me this as my other upset pick. I'm taking the Bears. The Bears locker room looks completely different. The coaches may or may not have a quarterback that they personally like from the front office. The Chargers, again, coming off a boneheaded game against Kansas City. I think it continues. I think the Bears ride their momentum with an undrafted quarterback that nobody really has film on. I think their skill position players continue to come through, and the Bears make an upset. Give me the Bears by 3.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's jump over to Monday night, Las Vegas at Detroit. I think Detroit's going to be coming out in this game looking to put some pain on somebody after the way Baltimore beat them down. Give me Detroit by 10. The way they got beat by Baltimore isn't like what I expected from Detroit. I expected Baltimore to win, but I didn't expect them to 38-6, that kind of game. Give me Detroit to kind of put a beat down on Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think if you could ask for one get right game, it would be against Las Vegas at this point. Injuries, their severe lack of coaching, locker room issues. Another team with locker room issues. Adams doesn't really want to be there. He's kind of been in the self-trade talk. I know the organization's kind of behind that. They're going to keep him there, but he's advertising himself to, kind of get the hell out of town. Right. So really, give me Detroit all day. I think they're going to come out with a beautiful run game. I think their offensive linemen are going to eat. I think their defense is going to feast on a really Las Vegas team that's ranked in the bottom and getting up pressures and sacks. So give me Detroit to get right.
Right. Okay. Well, Jordan, that's our picks for today. You got anything before we get out of here today?
Nothing. Just we're at the trade deadline. I think there's going to be more noise than a lot of people are saying. It's kind of quiet on the Western Front today because it's game day. But watch those big teams. If Denver loses, do they punt everybody out? If Carolina loses, do they move those kind of aging, skilled position players that they signed to mentor the young guy? Look for if Texas continues winning and they think they can be a contender in the AFC South and the Colts drop one today, do they make the big splash? I think really just kind of all eyes on a trade deadline. And, of course, kind of the bigger matchups, is Joe Burrow back? Is that what's going to be best for the league? And does Kansas City finally choke one? So.
Yep. Nope. All good stuff. Hey, great show from you today, Jordan. Can't wait to come back next week and recap everything we talked about here today. Also want to say thank you to Dirty Fanatics United, those Falcon fans down there jumping on, giving us some comments. And then shout out to Tyler stopping in and helping us out here with some comments also. And then like and subscribe to the Variety Sports Network, the mothership for us. We could use all the support we can get. I believe the channel is up to 441 subscribers, so help us get to that 450 mark. And enjoy the NFL slate today. A lot of important games. Jordan and I will be very glued to the TV. We got two heavy matchups as we go against the NFC West. And this has been the Variety Sports Sunday Morning Tailgate. Jordan, I will see you next week, buddy.
We'll see you next week, boss.